You're watching the Sports Central Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Sports Central Podcast. On location this week at the Manhattan Beach Strand House. Beautiful restaurant, beautiful backdrop here with Hagen Smith, Sinjin Smith, ahead of the AVP Manhattan Beach Open. What is it about the AVP Manhattan Beach Open that is so special? It's an iconic stop on the tour.
No, this has been one of the longer running events for beach volleyball and for the AVP, for the city of Manhattan Beach, and then just when people think volleyball, this is one of the first things they think about, Manhattan Beach. So it also has one of the coolest trophies. You get your name on the pier, you're there for life.
Your name's on the pier a few times.
A few times, yeah. Back in the late 70s when I came down to play, this was the biggest event. Of all the events up and down, the events at that time, they were just up and down our coast. That's it, nowhere else in the country. And this was the biggest event. So everybody wanted to play here. They loved to play here. The crowds were incredible. Everybody knew what was happening that time of the year, that time of the summer, and they would all come down here. And it was a huge, huge event. Back then in the 70s, and of course even today.
What are some of each of you, your favorite memories at the Manhattan Beach Open?
I remember, I think it was towards the end of his career and then a little bit after, they used to have a giant stage, and one of my favorite things was when the players are either finished or in between games, would go on the stage. You get to interact with the players, and so I was in there more than most people, but even still, the sport of beach volleyball, especially on the AVP, you're out there on the beach, and you could be a nobody or you could be the best beach volleyball player in the world, but you're all a community down there together. And
Didn't you get to interact with him enough?
Yeah, after another one of my favorite memories is after he'd play, when he was still playing, I don't remember if he ever won or lost those games. My favorite thing to do would be to run onto the court, grab a ball, and pepper on the court. And I think that's kind of where my love for center court and all eyes on me stems from.
That's awesome. Sinjin, how about you? Favorite memories here?
Every time we'd come down, it was just a huge, huge deal. Everybody anticipated this event all year long, and not only us as players, but the fans as well. So you knew you were going to have the biggest crowd watching you, focused completely on what you're doing out there, and that's just a great feeling. I mean, we were going to play the same game we always play. Yeah, maybe we were a little more intense because this was so important to us, the biggest event of the season. But it was just a great place to come and play, even though there's no parking. Just the setting was awesome. And I don't know how people actually then and now find parking to come. There's thousands and thousands of people that come down here. I don't know where the heck they park. I mean, some people park far away. They ride their bikes down. They figure out a way. But this is just one of the biggest events ever. And people will get here one way or another and watch the best teams in the world play.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly right.
You are, very much responsible for the explosion of the sport and beach volleyball. When you look at how the game was played and the rules from when you were playing to now when you're playing Hagen, what do you think of the way that the sport has evolved?
He had a big part in how the sport has changed, but now, it's a much faster paced game, especially with the AVP League where we're playing sets to 15. Now every point matters a little bit more because you can go in his day you could side out back and forth. As long as you were siding out, you could play forever. I mean, he had matches 4 or 5 hours sometimes.
Maybe not that long, but really long.
It gets longer every time he tells me. But now you have to be on top of the game right away, and something that's been benefiting myself and my partner Logan Weber is we'll get on teams early in a lot of the league matches and stay on them and don't give them any leeway to build any momentum. And the game is much faster now. The court is smaller. The guys are taller and jump higher and a little bit stronger.
We'd still beat him.
Yeah, that's what they say.
I think the big difference between when we were playing it and the guys today, the skills are the same. Yeah, some of the players are bigger and stronger, but you still have to put the ball away on the court, and the court's actually smaller today too, just a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we were out on the court sometimes 8 hours or more during the day. Today they play one match, maybe two matches, depending upon if it's a league match or if it's an open tournament. You know, they may be out there at the most 4 hours during the day.
Are you calling him
Are you
soft?
talking about tournaments or practice?
It's not their fault. It's just people can't pay attention long enough to have the long games that we had
It's
back
the
then.
attention span.
And we were out there for a really long time. Our events were 2 days, so we could play, you know,
you had to jam in everything.
6 to 8 matches in a day. So different than what they're doing today. So we're a lot more playing in a shorter period of time. That's the biggest difference I see from today, you know, from when we played.
Well, when you said bigger and stronger, you flexed. Was that subconscious?
Well, yeah, it's subconscious, conscious. He'll admit it. I mean, our games are similar, where I try to emulate as much as possible from him. But when it comes to body type and just how I play, we've been compared to, he would float like a butterfly across the sand, and I kind of bulldoze through, which I'm trying to be lighter in all aspects of my game. And yeah, I've found the weight room a little bit more than he did, so they would spend, you know, their 8 hours on the beach playing all day. We'll do our 2 to 3 hour practice in the sand, and then we'll do our lifts and auxiliary rehab, prehab stuff. You know,
50 years ago, we didn't lift weights.
It wasn't a thing?
It wasn't a thing. What we would do to train, we'd play all day. Play all day long. And yeah, there was a little bit of weightlifting and stuff. You know, Randy Stoklos looked like him back then, my partner. But he was a little taller. He was big and strong and an animal. Mm-hmm. And he, you know, so the players, there were some bigger players back then, but now I think the biggest difference, they're taller. Many more taller players than there were back then.
I like to think that I'm the combination of my dad and Randy in one player.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What a partnership.
Yeah.
I mean, you're built like a linebacker. Did you ever think about playing football or another sport?
No, he got in my head early that football, you know, the repercussions later down the line aren't necessarily in my best interest. I did play tennis for a long time, and he was a big proponent for me to keep playing tennis. And I was with a group where some of them are still playing professional now, and then I stopped off like right before high school. And you know, he kind of burned me out, but I always, this is true, I always wanted to play beach. I always wanted to play volleyball. So when it came time to make that decision and kind of specialize, because my sports growing up were baseball, tennis, and volleyball, all the same season in high school. You know, I wanted to be like him. I wanted to follow in his footsteps, so I stuck with volleyball.
You know, following in his footsteps, right? I mean, both playing indoor at UCLA, you know, transitioning to beach. Obviously, your dad is legendary. Is there any pressure in that? Expectations? People throw the nepotism card at you sometimes. What have you had to deal with?
I'll use the nepotism when I need to.
There you go.
But no, I'm trying to, you know, blaze my own path. I've never felt like I've been in his shadow. I always feel like it's like a guiding light or just the best resource I could possibly have. You know, if you just thinking about from a mentor standpoint, he is the best by far. He's from growing the game, from traveling the world, from his hours and hours spent training. There's no better person that I could have in my life to help me be where I am today than this guy right here, and he just happens to be my dad, even though we still have the father-son relationship where he may say some things and I'll come back and we'll butt heads, and you know, like, Dad, I don't believe you. There's the balance between Sinjin Smith, the volleyball player, and then Sinjin Smith, my dad.
He eventually realizes.
You're always right.
That's right.
My frontal lobe is almost there.
How often are you texting him after a match or during a match and telling him what you see?
You know, I've tried to stay out of his deal, you know, all the way through, but I'll always want to know how he did, and whenever he asks, he'll always get help. So it's up to him to decide, you know, when he wants me to contribute, and he doesn't have to tell me to stay away. I'll stay away, so he doesn't have to worry about that. But
he does a good job watching, but not watching. Like when I want him there, he's in the front row. Like last year when we qualified for the AVP League, we had him in our box as our coach the whole time. And then if I'm kind of trying to feel myself out, he'll be, you know, sometimes we'll probably be up here at Strand House watching games down in Manhattan. But no, my first message after every game, if I'm playing international or if it's a local event, come to him. What did you see? What could we do better? And the first thing he'll say 90% of the time is, you need to serve short more.
It's funny, whenever I come onto the beach, even walking down the street, I swear to God, he knows I'm coming. And he'll see me.
There's a sixth sense for sure.
Is there?
See me 200 yards away. I'll see him look. I go, how did that happen?
In the middle, not in the middle of a point, but getting set for the in between whistles, I'll just take a perfect glance, and there he is. Is
that reassuring?
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of, if he doesn't coach me during games, if he's not in the box because he's not allowed to, but I can sometimes feel some of his thoughts about what to do, and it's usually something like serve short or mix it up, right?
Who gets recognized more in the current climate around the beach volleyball scene?
I'm still Sinjin Smith's son. I think I got it a couple times where they've told him that you're Hagen's dad.
Yeah.
But he's
which is very cool.
Aw.
Yeah. I liken it to the Michael Jordans of the sport. He was at that level at his time of playing.
Did you realize that when you were growing up, that your dad was that iconic?
Not a clue.
Yeah.
Not a clue. He was dad, and then we up until 5 or 6, I get to travel around with them, and I remember those trips just being super fun. But like I said, my favorite thing was getting on the court and getting to pepper with him, and not because of who he was as a volleyball player, but because of dad.
I think what's interesting, he's easily as big as I was in the volleyball world today. He is. Everybody recognizes him. Everybody sees him for his talents and everything. Well, not just the hair, just the way you play and what you do on the court and everything else. The difference was when I was playing, we were on network television. So people all over the country got to see us play. And more people knew who I was, but it was the same because we had a bigger audience. With his audience, he's still getting the same kind of notoriety that I got. It's just a smaller audience today, unfortunately, and hopefully that'll be growing with everything they're doing with the league and the other events.
Yeah, being an athlete nowadays is you got to be good at your sport, and then you also have to be good at marketing yourself and social media, and that's something that I'm always trying to look for more help with, and I'm hopefully I have a better team now that's going to help push some more social media stuff out that get eyeballs on me, which will get eyeballs on the sport, which gets eyeballs on me, and then it just grows like that.
Social media can no doubt be an advantage for athletes these days. But you mentioned the hair, glorious, rivals my own.
I don't know.
Is it a hazard ever? Do you have to pull it back? Does it ever get in the way?
I've a lot of people, usually women, ask how I play with my hair down, because I'll wear a hat.
I can't go to the gym with my hair down. I can't imagine playing competitive beach volleyball.
It's never been an issue for me. I take that back. The only time I know when I need to cut it is when it gets caught in my armpit back here. But it's something with how I tuck it behind the ears and I just let it fly, and it makes for some really good pictures.
Yeah, right. What are some of the unforeseen hazards of playing beach? You mentioned 8 hours you'd be playing. What are some of the things that happen down there that maybe the spectators don't realize?
Show them your feet.
No free foot pics. But you'll get a sunburn. Or from this weekend, this past weekend was Manhattan Beach 6-man, and it's one of the hotter times, and I have quite a few little sun blisters. And
little on the bottom of his foot, this big. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was my bad. I should have prepared a little bit better.
When you're out playing in hot sand, it's hot. You feel it's hot, and you're walking gingerly, or you're moving the sand away on top because that's where the hottest sand is. But you don't really know when you're getting a blister. But it's burning like fire. It is so hot, and I guarantee you, this last weekend at the 6-man, hundreds and hundreds of the players playing got blisters.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. But other than that, we're a non-contact sport, right? So you have, over time, you'll get some injuries, but that's what's so great about beach volleyball. You can play this into, if you're still fit and active, into your 70s and 80s.
I want to talk more about, the fandom around it, but you mentioned no free feet pics. I feel like that's a natural segue to OnlyFans.
Exactly.
Is that where we get the feet pics?
No, well, maybe you have to subscribe to find out. Yeah, so I'm a part of the OnlyFans athlete program, and that was something that I never thought I would be an avenue for myself, and I also never thought that social media would be such a big part of what I needed to be an athlete as a young child when I wanted to grow up to be a professional athlete. Yeah, so they're building the brand. I see it as like a Nike sponsorship, and they've been super supportive. And I take my social media content, either it's the same stuff you see on Instagram, or maybe you get a first look, and then I have a lot of content that's only for OnlyFans. Like I did a lot of behind the scenes stuff last year for a lot of league events. We shot a volleyball show, Perfect Set, down in Florida last year. That's on the OnlyFans TV platform, and they've been awesome for me.
Is that what the models? Did I see?
Yes, there were some. Yeah. No, so there was that Perfect Set, and then there was a second show, which was that model volleyball.
Okay.
Which, yeah.
That must have been a tough gig.
I don't want to give too much away because I want people to go watch it, but that was our team. We're going to be better next year, is what I have to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When you heard about OnlyFans, are you thinking, what is my son getting himself into?
Well, when they started the whole athlete version of OnlyFans, I thought, well, it's a great idea, but certain people only think of OnlyFans as something else. But I think the idea that they've separated things for the athletes, I think it's a great opportunity for the athletes to make money and continue to be able to play professionally. It's not like they're making millions of dollars playing beach volleyball these days. They
Not
got
anymore.
Yeah, they got to.
Took it all.
They have to find ways to make money if they want to continue to play professionally and not get a real job.
Well, how does beach volleyball take it to the next level? I mean, you have these male, female athletes, gorgeous bodies. It's, playing on the sand. Other athletes train, right, in the sand to get better because it's so hard. It's so hard on the body. You guys are playing and competing in the sand. What do you think volleyball as a sport needs to do, or beach, I should say, to take it to the next level in terms of garnering more attention and audience engagement?
We've been there. During the 80s, going into the 90s, we were on a meteoric rise. I mean, with millions and millions of dollars in prize money, bringing the men and women together, becoming an Olympic sport, becoming a worldwide sport. So we've been there. It's plateaued a little bit now, but there's an opportunity, I think, going into the future where it can become very, very big, much bigger than when we were playing, because now the ways to expose the sport,
right.
There's so many more different ways. But it will happen. I mean, look at tennis. You got this venue, the tennis venue. You got the players, and everybody's quiet and everything else. And you can see the athletes, but on the beach volleyball players, you see all the athlete. You see their whole body. You see, and they're tremendously fit, guys and the girls, and it's a spectacular sport to watch. There's no reason why we can't be tennis, but better. I always thought that. I've always thought it takes the right person to market and sell and promote this sport. And it's going to happen. It'll happen soon.
I think not necessarily. It's promoting the sport, yes, but we need to tell more stories about our athletes. You knew so much about the rivalry of when he was playing, the Hovdod, the Courage Ken Steffes, all of that, and people fall in love with the athletes and they fall in love with the sport. And I think right now we need to push our athletes more out there, especially, we have potentially a little more depth than they did.
Which can be good and it can be bad. I mean, you saw the top two teams back when I was playing all the time, so you got to know who they were. Now, because it's kind of spread out the talent, you see different people all the time, and it's hard for the fans to really get behind somebody if they don't know who they are.
Right.
So you're saying I have to do better to be more in front of people?
Yes,
okay,
yes,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we the struggle right now is a little bit more than it was back then, and I think if we can tell that story and get people to, buy into what we're doing, just as people and the plight of as a normal person, and then see what our job is and how unbelievable beach volleyball is the party scene, the athleticism, the sexy beach bodies, the unbelievable, the sun's coming out for us now. It's just it's the best venue to go watch a sport, and then seeing that sport be how athletic the players need to be. It's a perfect storm. We just need to make sure that we're right in the middle of it.
As a journalist, I appreciate your recognition of the importance of storytelling.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned that when the sport became an Olympic sport, played on the Olympic level, you got to play in the first, in the inaugural year, beach volleyball as an Olympic sport. Now, we've got LA 28 just around the corner. Mm-hmm. I know you have your eyes set on that.
Oh yeah.
What are you thinking about? How does the preparation work for you as that's looming?
So, the World Tour right now, they were supposed to be at the end of 2026, the beginning of the Olympic qualifications. A little bit of unrest in the Middle East, and then one of the main one of the main investors pulled their money, so they're trying to figure out how the qualification process is going to start. It will for sure start in 2027, and it'll go through 2028. And I'm looking to try to find the best partner for myself, build on that going into the year, and put our best foot forward. I think that when I'm playing my best and consistently, I'm one of the top players in the U.S., one of the top defenders. I definitely have a serve that will back that up as well. So it's just about, really, I've put my head down for a lot of years, but now it's to get as serious as possible going into this next Olympic qualification period.
So the Olympic qualification lasts a year and a half. Starts in 27. It goes around the world. You play in as many of the events as you can, do as well as you can, and then they take a certain number of those events, and that's how you qualify for the Olympic Games. So they have a tough road ahead. They're all preparing right now to start 27 and play in those events and do as well as they can. And it's all up in the air right now.
What would it mean to you to be able to represent your country?
It's unbelievable. I'm very lucky right now that I get to represent my country on the World Tour. But, good thing or bad thing, Olympics is the quintessential point for beach volleyball right now. I never thought as a young child that it would be in LA. I always dreamed of being in the Olympics. Now that it's in my backyard, it would be unbelievable. And the dream is to go to the Olympics, but then on top of that, it's to win gold.
How fun would it be to relive that experience through his eyes?
Unbelievable. I mean, you can't imagine that your son would, one, do what you did, but then, play in the Olympic Games and potentially win a medal representing the United States. I can't even describe how awesome that is. But everything he's doing now is still great. I mean, we're all looking forward to the Olympics and the qualification, and it's exciting just to see it evolving. So, we'll just have to see. But all of it's been awesome to see what he's accomplished, even to this day.
You've shared so much of your knowledge and experience with Hagen, and you're also out there working with kids now in your beach volleyball camps. Tell us a little bit about that and how long you've been doing that.
Well, the camp started right when I retired in 2001. And Randy Stokos and I, my partner for 10 years,
very successful.
We did pretty well.
They did all right.
We started the camps, and then Randy focused on other stuff, and I kept the camps going. We're up and down the coast from Malibu down to San Diego, and it's awesome to see the kids come out and playing and learning, and that some of the kids you're teaching and training are going to end up being professional and maybe going to the Olympic Games. It's a really, really cool thing to be able to do that, to see them develop. And what's great also is, and for him and all the guys at the top level, if you don't love the sport, it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So you can identify the young players, girls and boys, the ones who really love doing it. You tell them to do things and they want to do more, that they have the potential to move up. So it's really a fun thing to see them. And I know the way I felt when I was a kid. I couldn't get enough. I mean, even when I got to high school and we were practicing and into college, couldn't do enough. Every time they thought they were beating us up and working us hard and everything else, I'd go out and do more. So when you see that from young kids, and I see it with him, you know there's a potential to do anything.
I'd expect nothing less from King of the Beach.
Yeah.
We've got merch, we've got balls. You've kept the brand alive long after the playing career.
Yeah, it's, I was the King of the Beach, for a period of time.
Does it feel weird to say that? Because
Yes,
you look
very
like you're
much.
uncomfortable saying it.
But we took advantage, Steve Asher and I, first with the company Side Out Sportswear, and then now with the King of the Beach brand, Queen of the Beach, and King of the Court and Queen of the Court. We have international events now with King of the Court, Queen and King of the Court. So yeah, my whole life has been volleyball. I can't get away from it, and I don't want to get away from it. So anything I can do to put back into the sport, that's what I'm here to do.
How often do you guys get to play against each other?
Never.
Never.
Never?
I'll call him any day, anytime, and he'll come and help coach us. And there's plenty of times where we get out there and I'm bombing jump serves, and he's being our target. And I tell him, okay, you just need to stand there so I have a body for a reference point, and he'll just pass perfect every ball, just above the antenna, right in front of him. So easy, perfect touch, and then I'll try to lace one down the sideline, and his, you're getting up there, but his reflexes are still unreal, and he'll make a dive to the side, put it same spot, perfect. It'll take him an extra second to get up, but no, his touch is still there, and it's unbelievable. And then I'm just lucky to have him, kind of at my disposal for whenever I need a coach, and probably one of the better coaches around.
Hagen, Sinjin, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.